All right, here, 1 second. Back. All right, so like I said, this presentation is called "Set the Stage" with Magento, and it's pretty much about the staging environment. We're going to get through this. So again, it might be me, but I don't see your presentation. I don't see the screen again.
Don't see. Interesting. Shit.
Yep. There you go. All right. Where does it come and go all the time?
1 second. I'll try to do this again. What about now? Can you see it?
I can see this local screen is hidden. All right, so the agenda for the presentation. I'm going to go quick since we have the screen. A little bit about me. Oh gosh, it keeps going away, Sergey. I think every time you click on something else, it just goes away.
Sorry?
It's gone again.
It's gone again. Is it happening when I try to share on the whole screen? Can you see now?
I can see now.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, every time you present a whole screen, it disappears. It's okay, make it big enough. I mean, it's honestly, it's okay. There's no animation or anything, so don't worry about it. Just put it big enough. If it's just showing this, I'm cool with it.
So can you see now the screen?
Yep. Can you go back to the beginning?
To the agenda?
Yeah, agenda is fine. All right, so the agenda for the talk, a little bit about me. Like I said, not too much, no one cares. It's gone again. So yeah, every time you click on something else, it goes away.
Jonathan, can you see? I just changed the slide.
We don't see the share anymore. There you go. Go back to the agenda. I done the agenda, a little bit about me. So what am I going to talk about? How to set up Magento staging, how to use Magento staging, how it affects performance, and that's it. Sergey,
Again?
Yeah, it keeps going away. I don't know what to do.
Let's see what's going on. I can reshare the screen after every slide.
Then put the second slide, the one after the agenda.
This one?
Alex is actually saying that I need to grant access. I did actually grant access. No, the one before that. Two before that, actually. I did grant access. We did a test before and it was working. So I don't know, it's this specific meaning that I can't share for some reason. But we did a test before and I was able to share. But this is a different problem. So.
Yeah, we actually tried to share the screen a few minutes ago and it worked.
So go back two slides before that. Right after the agenda.
Agenda, this is the next.
And it's, oh gosh, it's annoying. Anyway, I'm going to talk through this. We'll share quickly the ones where there is something that is important. Since I'm not, that's fine. So a little bit about me. I'm Jonathan Lorenzi. I'm Director of Engineering at Corra. I have been for 4 years now. I mean, not director, but I've been working at Corra for 4 years. I'm what Adobe calls the subject matter expert on the Magento Commerce Architect. What it is, for those who knew what existed before with Magento, is the certification advisory board. So pretty much what it means is that I'm part of the group that creates the certifications. that you guys hate so much. So you can blame me for it. I've been an engineer for 15 years. I've worked on Magento 1 and 2 for about 7 years. And the certification on the Magento 2 side, I have the Adobe Certified Professional certification, which is the Magento Commerce Developer, equivalent to Associate Developer. Adobe Certified Expert, which is a front-end developer. And Adobe Certified Master, which is the Magento Commerce Architect, or the Developer Plus. So the next slide is actually kind of important, but so what am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about Magento staging, and the reason why I am going to talk about this is because it's a commerce feature that not a lot of people work with unless you have a client that is using enterprise. So it's not a very known feature, and it's actually part of the of some of the questions in Developer Plus exam, because obviously Developer Plus is including the commerce features. So it's important to have an idea of how it works. I'm not going to share any question, obviously. I have an NDA signed, so don't hope for that. I'm not going to share any question. I'm just going to give you an idea of how things work and what it means for performance. And then from there, you can eventually dig into it and prepare for the exams if you want to. So the Magento staging is actually, like I said, it's a commerce feature. It allows you to pretty much schedule some updates on different entities of Magento. The products, the categories, the catalog price rules, the CMS pages, CMS blocks, and widgets, and everything that relates to that. So let's take, for example, you're working with a client, and is coming Black Friday or any event, any update, any pricing that they want to have on the site that is different than what is now. They can create a staging update, a scheduled update, and set the date and time, and from then change the name of the product, the price, or whatever they want, pretty much. So that's for what the staging is about, right? So now, if you want to see how you actually set it up, and I'm going to need you to share the screen, Sergey, otherwise it's going to be impossible to explain. Oh, hold on. Another illustrate content. Are you sure that you want to switch broadcast yourself? Confirm. The staging is doing something else now. It still doesn't allow me to, but so can you share the slide? Starting slide 5.
Yeah.
The one you're on right now.
Oh, you can see that?
I can't. I don't know. Let me stop my video. Maybe that's a problem. Can you guys in the crowd see the screen shared, or is it just me? So I don't have access to the slides on my phone, unfortunately, so I can't really try to this.
So, Jonathan, for now I can just again to share the screen.
Okay.
Can you see it now?
Okay, that's the one. I'm just going to go quickly to this one, and then we'll go to the next one. So how to set up Magento staging. So you saw that page. If you have Magento set up on your environment, you can test it. If you have an enterprise version, obviously. So you need to go to the contents side of it, and there's going to be a content staging and a dashboard, and you will see something like it's showing on slide 6 that Sergey is going to share very soon. But anyway, so you'll see pretty much a dashboard that shows you a calendar, and you have your updates scheduled. Anyway, guys, I don't know what's going on with the sharing, but I'm gonna go through it, and eventually we can share the slides later if you want. so that you can really have an idea of what I was supposed to show you guys. But anyway, so let's do a little bit of improv here. So how to set up Magento staging. So you get to the content and content staging dashboard. You have a calendar here with all the scheduled updates that you set already. And that's just the visual part of it. You can obviously click on it, and you're going to be able to update or not. But if you want to know how to really start scheduling an update, so you can go to one of the features that is actually included in the staging feature. And let's say product, for example. So if you click on a product, you're going to see on top right, you can see a schedule new update. What this actually allows you is that when you click on it, you have either you can save as a new update, so you can create a new update with, like I said, time and dates, give it a name and a description. So for the sake of that meetup, I created actually an update called Magento Meetup Kharkiv. Sorry for my pronunciation. And set a date for tomorrow, for example. So what I did there is just change the name of the product to add the meetup and change the price, just so that you can see pretty much how it reacts to that. When you do that, it's going to create a specific update in the Magento, the content staging dashboard. So you can actually go there and now see it on the dashboard, on the calendar. You can click on it and do a preview. And when you're going to do a preview, it's pretty much going to bring you to a specific version of the site that is actually based on the date that you just set for the start date. Right, so you're going to see on the top a calendar that's going to show a different date and time than the one you're on, but that is matching the scheduled update. And when you go there, you're going to navigate to a site that is pretty much exactly the same than your regular site. But if you go to that specific product or the PLP that has the product that you just updated, you will see that the name is actually now showing with the meetup at the end, so the new name that you set up, and the price is different. So how does that work? Let's start with how does it affect performance. So if you were to be able to see my screen, I would show you that if you look at the catalog product Untitled voucher table, you see your regular products, and I took the voucher as an example, obviously, but all the catalog product Untitled will actually show some updates. So if you took the voucher, I took this one because I changed the name. But if you actually look at the end of that table, you'll see that the value is being updated to the regular name with meetup at the end. And it's actually pretty much a new row. It has a row ID, and that row ID is actually very important because it's going to be, this is the value that's going to match with the scheduled updates or everything within the different tables will have the same row ID to match that specific scheduled value. So what it does pretty much is it's adding rows to the table, right? So right now we've done the voucher because we have the name, but it's pretty much also, like I said, adding to all the tables that have a change. So what it, let me actually go back 1 second. All right, so how does it really affect performance? Well, technically, creating a small schedule update is not going to affect much, right? You're going to have few rows in a table, which is not a problem. But the first thing that Magento will have to do as soon as you hit the Save button is it will reindex all the affected products. So once again, here we did one product, not a big deal. But if you're managing a site that has, let's say, 1 million products, and you have a merchant that says, okay, out of those 1 million products, 10% is going to be on that next update, because we have big sale, whatever. That's 100,000 products, right? So 100,000 products will be kind of created, duplicated from the original one with the new values in those tables, right? So you have the original problem that Magento is going to reindex all those products and not the entire table, thankfully, but reindex all those products to have the updated values as soon as you click the save button. So that's already 100,000 products that are going to be reindexed, right? What happens when you reindex? Well, obviously, the cache matching to those products and those PLPs, the categories, will be cleared as well. So that's also going to affect the server. But so if you actually look at the sorry, once again, if you have this 100,000 products, for example, so that's 10% of the site. Everything is reindexed. The cache is being cleared. But let's take the example of Black Friday, right? Black Friday is coming soon, and I don't know if you guys are working with a lot of different sites that have a lot of different updates, but I've worked with companies that want an update at 4 a.m., an update at 7, an update at 10, an update at noon, an update at 3 p.m., etc., for the entire weekend. Black Friday, the Black Friday weekend, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Cyber Monday. So it's like 4 days of updates. So can you imagine how many records are being added? It's actually quite a lot. But that's actually, like I said, that's one of the problems, right? So it adds rows. It adds rows. Sorry, yes, it adds rows to tables. It reindexes. It clears the cache. So it affects the performance, but on a limited point, right? Because it's like I said, it's when you save, it does all of this, and after that, it's done. Now the problem is, how does Magento know what version to get? Right? If you get to a page, if you get to the category page, and there's a scheduled update, Magento has to show you either the regular price or the planned update, right? So let's say, for example, you have a price at $3 now instead of $30, and you access the site when the update is supposed to show. You need to see $3. Right, so if you actually were able to look at all the different tables, you'll see that there is actually a timestamp that's being added, and that timestamp matches the beginning of the update and the end of the update. And it actually adds 2 rows to that per product, per record. If you actually have, let's say, a product, in my example, I use the product with the entity ID 1. So the number 1 will have the regular record originally that exists within Magento out of the box, but at the end of that table, they will add 2 records. One that has a timestamp at the beginning of the scheduled updates, and one that has a timestamp at the end of the scheduled updates. But that's actually one row. The second row that is being created has the first timestamp that is at the end of the scheduled update, and then there's another timestamp that, if you translate that to human readable time, is a date in 2038. So Magento tells you, if you actually at that timestamp right now, you should see the original record. If you are between the beginning and the end of that update, you see the second update. The price that's at $3, and if you actually are everything after the end of that update and 2038, then you will see the regular price again. But Magento recreated a record for that. So the problem with that is to be able to know what timestamp you should be using, and this is where it affects the most the performance. Magento will actually change the way it selects the products, and and I'm talking about products, but that's actually valid for every entity that is used in the staging. every entity that is being used in a scheduled update will have the select queries updated and include aware statements to be able to include everything that is within that timestamp. So the regular query that selects the products is just selecting the products and all the attributes that goes with it. But now you add a where statement that has additional the timestamp and the update that is matching to it. So it affects pretty much at multiple different levels, right? Using the staging will affect when you save it, clear the cache, reindex and clear the cache. It adds rows to the table, so it actually pretty much creates a bigger table. So it actually slows down at that level, and it's going to slow down also at every time you're going to select the product, because it adds a where statement for all of those queries. So I was planning to show you that on the spot and run through the creation of a staging content and go through the database, which was going to take a little bit longer. Unfortunately, we were not able to do that. So thankfully for you, it's cut short on the presentation. So that pretty much leaves us to the questions that you may have. I'm not going to be able to show you, obviously, where it's happening in the code or anything in the database, but if you have any question, I'm happy to answer.
Okay, yes, you can ask your questions. While you're asking, I also have some question to Jonathan. Jonathan, if you can, please answer. So the issue our teammates experienced when working with the content staging is usually the configuration of the time zones, So in your browser, you have one time zone, on the server you have another time zone, in the Magento configuration you have the third time zone, and when you save the content staging, it happens that you set the value right now, so this schedule should work from now to some time, but when you save this value, the value saves like in the past or much more in the future. Probably know what is the correct configuration of the time zones and actually the stuff like that in terms of working with content staging. Jonathan, you're on mute.
The time in the past for the content staging. So you're already not going to be able to do that. But obviously you can save any time in the future, and it can be a problem. The way it works is that in the admin, when you're going to create a scheduled update, you actually will save it based on the time that that the admin is being set, right? When you actually set up your e-commerce, when you set up your store, you scheduled a time zone on which your admin is working. That's the time that is going to show you for the scheduled update. And then in the database, it saves it in what's called the epoch, which is the Unix timestamp, which is based on your PC. So if you look at the time, if you look at actually the database, you're going to see the universal time, but in the admin you should see the time that the store is set on, and that's the date and time that you're supposed to set up, pretty much. If you set your time zone correctly when you created your store, you shouldn't have a problem matching. If I want to set it at 10 a.m., I'm putting 10 a.m. in the store, and it's going to show at that time. But that's actually, like I said, it's the time of the store, right? So and it's basing that on timestamps. So let's say I'm actually in Ukraine, and I set something at, I don't know, at 5 p.m., right? I schedule an update at 5 p.m. It's 5 p.m. in Ukraine. The update launches. It doesn't change anything for any other users in the world. And what I mean by that is myself being in Los Angeles, 5 p.m. for you, it's, if I'm not mistaken, 7 a.m. for me. At 7 a.m. for me, I'm going to see the update, because Magento uses like I said, the universal timestamp to be able to schedule the updates. It doesn't care where you actually are in the world. It looks at the server time and the universal time, and is actually going to match the update based on that. So it's actually when it's saved the time that it becomes important, not when it is placed.
Okay, thanks.
Does that answer the question?
Yeah, actually, that's it.
Any other question?
Okay, as I see, for now, we don't have any other questions, but anyway, guys, you can ask those questions for Jonathan during the whole meetup, and after the meetup, we'll publish his answers in social networks. Okay, Jonathan, thank you very much for exciting presentation. Sorry for those technical issues.
Made it work. It's the most difficult thing, not for me, is for everybody that was trying to follow. I mean, it's always easier when you can see an admin and terminal to be able to have the information live, but we dealt with it. Yeah. Thank you for having me.